Yeah, so it's a good question. First of all, we need to understand that Gianni Infantino, FIFA president, was here for a few purposes before this meeting with Prime Minister Naftali Bennett and before his different announcements and declarations or wishes. Okay, as a FIFA president, Infantino is always in a campaign for something. Okay, and it's not something that's special to him. It's just what the president of the biggest multilateral organization in the world, basically FIFA is bigger than the UN in manners of members.
And more popular.
There is always, exactly. There is always a campaign for something. So Infantino came here for promoting the World Cup in Qatar, that's coming to us next year in November 2022, the first ever in the Middle East, and to promote the idea of biannual World Cup. There is now discussion and inner discussion within FIFA, within association football worldwide, whether we need to have this competition more often in order to let more countries participate, to make more profit, I guess, and certain amount of things. Now, a World Cup in Israel in 2030, it sounds nice. Obviously, as Infantino says, co-hosting is the trend and is the future, and basically it's the present, because with time, hosting a World Cup is becoming a very challenging task for one country. It's expensive. You need to have perfect infrastructure, and you need to have the right budget. We've seen what happens to countries that takes it alone. Brazil, for example, and we can give different examples. So co-hosting is a trend, and obviously Infantino, as the head of FIFA, that is visiting countries for promoting his, I would say, inner organizational or new agendas.
I'm not sure if we lost you there. Unfortunately, it seems we lost our guest here on the topic of potentially World Cup. We got you back, Ori Levy. Great. Well, let's continue the chat here if we can. Here, I want to touch on this. I mean, clearly we're seeing positive repercussions of the Abraham Accords here, and just his visit, so significant, him coming to Israel now. And does it signal perhaps a new chapter of Israel's relations with world sport in general?
Yeah, we've seen a growing phenomenon in recent years of mega sports event landing here, whether it's the Giro bicycle race, big matches like Argentina, Uruguay, the French Super Cup. Many thanks to people like Sylvan Adams, who is very active in this field, to bring here international sports events. Right now, the list of the bids to host the 2030 World Cup are, built from Latin American countries, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. Whether Israel-UAE would join into the pool, I say maybe, because I know that Saudi Arabia is also interested in having such event and hosting such event. So maybe with gather effort with the Abraham Accords, countries from all over the region, Israel among them, maybe it's a possibility, but is of course just a nice thing to say right now. Maybe a wish, maybe a dream, but I wish every football fan in Israel or a journalist or whatever would very happy to host a World Cup. Although I must say, as a country with sports infrastructure, we still need to build and to prepare for such event.
Certainly.